Howdy folks, welcome to this episode of The Weekend Angler. This video is going to be two parts. The first part is going to be a product review of a new product called a Floatback. And then the second part is going to be a throwback to high school science class where we're going to take this plastic bin, we're going to fill it with water, and we're going to see if this Floatback lives up to its claims. So guys, stick around, we'll get everything going, and we're going to review the Floatback. Well folks, a couple weeks ago I was introduced to this product called the Floatback, and it's a rather simple design, as you can see. It's just a nylon pouch, has some Velcro on it, a little flap. Inside there it's got a little zipper part. You can open that up. There's some flotation foam, and the manufacturer claims you can store some stuff in there within reason. Now folks, the way this thing works, it's really easy. It's designed to go fit around the adjuster part of the back of your hat, and just like that, this hat is supposed to be unsinkable now. So what I have done today, I have picked up two identical brand new hats from Rural King, and we're going to put those on a scale. I'm going to show you that they weigh the exact same. We're going to fill this bin full of water, and we're going to do a couple things here to see if these actually work. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the hat with the Floatback on it stays floating longer than the hat without one. And if it does, and I fully expect it to, then we're going to see just how much weight that Floatback is capable of floating. And the way we're going to do that is I've brought in 3 bags of lead bullet weights. 2 of them are 1/8 ounce and 1 of them is 1/4 ounce. And we're going to add lead until we can sink this hat. So we're going to see how much it takes. So guys, let me get everything set up here. We'll get this tank full, we'll get the scale ready, and let's start this experiment. Folks, we're going to get started here. We're going to take the first hat, set it on this scale. This is calibrated in grams. We're showing, let's call that 74 grams. We'll pull that hat off. We're going to re-zero the scale. Alright, second hat. $74 grams. These hat, they weigh exactly the same. So guys, let's get started. Let's get these put in the water. Well folks, weigh-in is complete. Both of these hats, as you see, weigh in about 74 grams. So let's go ahead and attach the Floatback to the first one. That's been attached. Let's get the second one. We're going to open these up because I don't know anybody that rides around with a hat that's not open. So if it's going to blow off your head, it's going to be like this. I've got my phone out for a stopwatch. So we will go I'm going to start this now. Well folks, surprisingly enough, both of these hats are still afloat. It's been about 6.5 minutes. So in this case, 6.5 minutes, that's ample opportunity to go around and get your hat. But let's take some of these sinkers. We're going to make these hats sink. So let's do it this way. I'm going to keep them the same, starting out with the 1/8 ounce lead sinkers. So we'll drop one in each hat. And the unsupported hat is already starting to go under the water. So let's give them a second one. That's a 1/4 ounce of lead. And the unsupported hat, or yes, the unsupported hat, 1/4 ounce of lead sunk it. So we're down to the floatback cap. Let's see how much this thing could take. There's 3/8. 4/8, that's a half. It's movement, but we're not coming down. There's 5/8. And we're starting to tip. There's 3/4 ounce. Seven-eighths. Alright, 7/8 is starting to tip the hat, but the floatback is keeping it up. There is 1 ounce of lead. Guys, I'm going to move that camera so you can watch this. Adam, I think you've got a good product here, bud. Here's 1 1/8 ounces. Ounce and 1/4. Ounce and 3/8. The floatback is keeping this hat up. 1.5 ounces. And it's keeping it up. 5/8. 1 3/4 ounces. And we're close, but it's still stayed of it. There's 1 7/8 ounces. We are almost out of the water. I'll move that camera so y'all can see this, because this is, there it goes. Guys, when I moved away, it sunk to the bottom. And it is not completely sunk. It still wants to float. Guys, almost 2 ounces of lead. That floatback kept that hat up with almost 2 ounces of lead in it. So Adam, at Floatback, I think you've got a good product, man. I think it'd take quite a bit to sink that hat. So guys, check them out. Let's wrap this experiment up. Well folks, we've reached the end of our experiment here. And as you saw, it took nearly 2 ounces of lead to sink the hat with the floatback in it, whereas it only took a 1/4 ounce of lead to sink the unsupported hat. So Floatback's slogan, hashtag be unsinkable. I don't think they're too far off the truth there. Unless you're stuffing no-roll sinkers up in your hat or hanging football jigs from it, I don't think you're in any danger of losing your hat if you have one of these attached. So, Adam, I appreciate you giving me this chance to be one of the first to review this. I do have one little bit of bad news. You're not getting your floatback back. I'm going to keep this thing. So I'll get with you and I'll settle up, but this is mine. I've lost too many hats this year. This thing works great. But folks, he didn't know what I was going to do. He sent me one of these to test out, and honestly I wasn't sure how I was going to test it, and once it arrived I got to thinking, figured what better way to do it than just try to keep this as scientific as possible. And I hope I was able to do that for you with this video so you can make your own decision on whether this would be the product for you or not. But if it is, I'm going to put the link to the Floatback website in the description of this video so you can go and check them out. Send Adam an email, ask him any questions you may have. And he's a good guy. He responds really quickly to the messages. So guys, I'm sure he'll get any questions you have answered. So folks, as always, thank you for watching my videos. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. And if you're on a mobile device, hit that little bell. It's down here on the right hand side somewhere. And that lets you know whenever I put a new video up or go live. But guys, take care. I'm going to get this mess cleaned up, and we'll catch you out on the water. Appreciate you watching the Weekend Angler.